AXE2Cap, let me put you on game. AXE2Cap, look at all that you could gain. Business moves, loans, and grants, it's all a part of the game. You could learn all of this, let the Queen Sheba explain. AXE2Cap.
Thank you all for joining me for this conversation on soul work. This is Sheba's roundtable discussion, conscious conversation discussion about entrepreneurship and the true grit and grind of what it takes to be successful. I appreciate you all for joining me to really pay it forward and have this honest conversation amongst each other, with myself, and those individuals who will be viewing it on our platforms and our podcasts. I am going to ask you to introduce yourselves, talk about, who you are, the work that you've done, how long you've been an entrepreneur, and then we'll go right into having this discussion. I'll start off with Jim. If you can introduce yourself, talk about, who you are, your business, how long you've been an entrepreneur, that'd be great.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Jemuel East, but you can call me Jem. My business is Dream Achieve, where I work to get renters to own properties. I've been an entrepreneur for about a decade, more or less, while still working full-time and whatnot. So I'm in real estate overall. One of my day jobs is being a realtor. I'm from Hartford, Connecticut, born and raised in the inner city. Family is from Jamaica. It's really big on improving the world, leaving an impact. I think that we're all here for a purpose. Figuring out that purpose and leaving the world a better place than what we found it, I think is what we should be doing. So I strive to do that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Gavin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Gavin Andrade. I'm 42 years old. I started my entrepreneurship back in 2014. It's been a while now, about 11 years almost. I think this true. I do construction. I'm a licensed general contractor, construction company called Trims and More. I also own a couple properties that we, rent out as well. Do restorations, renovations, fire damage, you name it, start to finish. I don't do new builds as of yet, but I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Coy, you're up next.
How y'all guys doing? My name is Nickoy Aarons. Everybody call me Coy. Been an entrepreneur probably about 20 years. I'm 31. The business I have right now is Parishes. As you guys can see, I'm here now. It's a Jamaican restaurant that's located in Berlin, Connecticut, where I put a different spin onto everything else, more health conscious. But I'm Jamaican, and that's about it.
All right. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right. And you're up next, Jaiden.
All right. I'm Jaiden. I'm 22 years old. I've been in the entrepreneurship business for probably like 2017. I originally had my DJ business from before, but then I started my car business recently last year. So that's what I've been focused on right now. It's a lot of tough moments. I'm going through some right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going through one of the hard times, but I'm fighting through it. Just trying to stay positive. But yeah.
Yeah, totally understand. And, this is perfect timing for us to talk about it, right? Because oftentimes people don't understand the other side to entrepreneurship. And when life is life and don't nobody really talk about it. And as Black men, practice has been to introvert and not talk about things because you have to show yourself strong. So we're going to get right into this discussion. Jaiden, thank you for teeing that up. I am your host, Sansere Cicero. I am the Queen of Sheba, Society of Human Engagement and Business Alignment, where we talk about and have honest conversations about access to capital, entrepreneurship, and all things sustainability as small businesses and entrepreneurs. So as we're going through having this discussion about how you're feeling in your current state. If you don't mind, talk us through a little bit, and you don't have to go into detail, but talk to us a little bit about how you're balancing entrepreneurship, how you're going through your obstacles, and if you have a safe space and a support system to kind of help you through it.
Yeah, so basically, I got kicked out the house. So I'm basically just been staying in a hotel, because I'm trying to find a new spot by like late July, early August. So I've been going through that while I'm still maintaining my business. So I'm trying to like balance out everything. Felt like everything just been going downhill lately, but I just been trying to find ways to keep my head up. I've been talking to my mentor, Leroy. So he been helping me. That's like, he been the key factor. I'm not gonna lie, he been helping me a lot. I've been working out too a lot, trying to just keep my head clear. I just got to remember, I got people looking up to me. I got my daughter, I got everything. So I just can't give up. That's why I just got to just keep fighting. There's always the next day and always somebody going through worse times than me. So that's why I'm still blessed at the end of the day. Just keep doing what I got to do.
Absolutely. It always feels like when one thing come for us, three other things be right behind it, right? So stay focused, stay positive. There's a blessing right around the corner for you, brother. Just put the blinders on and keep looking forward, okay? All the things around you are just distractions. And when you are distracted, it throws you off your game. So just think about what your next steps need to be, who your support system is, and how they can help you get through this, because you're not alone.
Exactly. Thank you.
So my other brothers on the call, talk to us about life and because life is life and for Jaiden right now. And I know this is not everyone's story right now, but we all have a story and we've been through some things. Talk to us about the pressures of masculinity and how it shapes some decisions around how you get through tough times.
Hey, what's going on, Jaiden? It sounds like you're just going through one of those motions. I think that for you, I give you kudos and credit, because I remember like one of my, like, I guess kind of like floor moments, mental health wise, came when I was in college. Just like I had like a rough series of events. It was like kind of like the job, the girlfriend, the car, what I'm saying, go new school, just things just happening all at once. Like at one point felt like the world was ending. I think like as a guy, we have to be strong. We're taught to be strong. We're taught to be, providers and the people that make things happen. So we don't naturally develop these spaces, these groups to have people to, help us, especially if you're an entrepreneur and really trying to build and, you have goals and things like that. Not all of the friends that you have those same things. So it's really like you're really isolated. What I've noticed for myself is that the problems that I had at a certain time aren't near the problems that I have today. However, I'm better equipped to deal with my problems today because I went through my problems at the past, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Coy.
So for me, it's just keep reminding myself that's gonna work out. It's life, and what happened in 2026 though. You know what I'm saying? This is temporary. You feel me? When it rains, it has to shine. Like right now, it's raining outside. The sun has to come out. You feel me? So I'm just chilling right now. Got an umbrella. You know what I mean? I'm just chilling, go by, because I'm just keep smiling, because at the end of the day, I know that it's gonna work out the way it's supposed to. I have the right people in my corner. Just gotta stay positive, and then speak it into existence. Like just keep going. Every day you wake up is an opportunity to keep going. So once you woke up, that's already a good sign right there. So just do what you got to do, and you know what I mean, everything will fall into place. Bend, but don't break. That's my motto since football. Bend, don't break.
I love that. Bend, don't
break.
Let's stay there for a second and talk about resilience. How you've had to be resilient on this entrepreneurial journey. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone in your generation that either may be thinking about it or life is life and just like it's like life and for everybody else? What would that advice be?
I think one that I'll throw in there is a quote from Jay-Z's. I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. And for me, that was powerful because, I'm a serial entrepreneur, right? Where I've had several different businesses. I think we all kind of spoke to that. There's going to be certain things that we're able to put together and it's working, and then a lot of things aren't. The first 7 businesses fail. Coy got a restaurant. So, that's literally the hardest business to open. You know what I'm saying? And it's done that several times over. So sometimes the thing may not work, but it's always working on you. Even in the loss, like you're realizing what you could have done better, what you could have exemplified, how you could be better. I had a couple of tough conversations this past week where some of it I had to recognize that, okay, I'm not doing what I need to be in this area. So that means I have an opportunity in this area. So that means I need to focus on this area. So that means if I implement this in the area, I can get these results. For us as men and Black men, I think we take things kind of hard because we put a lot of energy and passion into what we do. We know that we are trying hard, we're working hard, but sometimes things not working the way that we need to be. Again, I think that we just need to be kinder to ourselves, more understanding, empathetic with ourselves, so that we give ourselves the grace and the leverage to actually get better.
150% agree. And I know Gavin is driving and he's multitasking. But he and I got into a conversation way back when he was going through scaling and growing his business. Talk to us, because if anybody knows about life and is you.
I grew up with entrepreneur parents, so I saw the struggles of trying to get a business started off the ground. You know, my mother had me on the books early, you know, working early in the South. That's how we did it. So Trims and More, my company, I wanted to get into something that was more concrete in 2014. Stopped working for the corporation that I was with. I was with them for about 10 years, and it was a very good job, very well-paying job. It just didn't allow me to do what I wanted to do, and I didn't have any passion for it. When I decided to step out in entrepreneurship, it's definitely hard. Meeting Sansaray was God sent because, you know, I'm starting to learn things about there's funding out there. I don't know about you gentlemen, but I started most of 90% of my business was my cash. Until I was able to grow it, understand how a business works, leverage properties that I bought when I was younger, you know, and started to take things serious. So I would just encourage you to keep pushing, keep listening to Sheba. Sansaray, she could definitely point you some good directions. You know, you got to understand what your business is bringing in. You got to know your customer base. You got to know what your business is gauged towards, and then you got to work and focus towards that. I'm still growing my business, so please, I'm not better than none of you guys. I might have made $2, but you know, I'm still trying to make some real money. I'm still trying to grow the business and so forth. But Black men in general, we do have a stigma on us that, you know, we're not the most professional, and you know, we don't take care of business. So for everybody on here, it's a testament to show that that's not the case.
Thank you so much for that. That was a true seed that was planted for individuals outside of your generation, right? Because oftentimes we don't talk enough about single parent homes and single mothers raising young men and not having the impartation of a strong man, a strong Black man, respectively, for the culture. And so I would ask, and this is that honest conversation, right? The impact of how being raised in the environment that you all have been raised in, how has that shaped your thinking around the decisions you make for your business? Like, I'll tell my story in a minute. I was just laughing with my brother not too long ago about how when I was younger, how they used to hang me from the fence to mess with me because I'm the younger of three boys. And so being raised in that environment taught me resilience, though, right? It made me push through certain things and be fearless in the face of adversity at times. So talk to me about how your environment has shaped your decisions as entrepreneurs.
Well, like I said, for me, watching both parents, my stepfather drove for the city of Miami. He always had a business, you know, he always had properties he was renting, working on them himself. My mother, Jamaican, 2-3 jobs growing up. My upbringing absolutely had everything to do with where I'm at today. Plus, I made bad choices when I was younger too. Those lessons also taught me what it's like to run a business right now. You know, you're gonna have ups and downs in business. You got to know how to roll with those times, and you have to understand your business. You know, I already told you a little bit about my background. That shaped my ideology of me wanting to be an entrepreneur from very, very early, because it's something you could be proud of. You know what I mean? For those who've ever had a job, you do something great, they have a meeting, they give you an award, and those things are cool. But when you're actually working on something that you could set for generations, man, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, agreed. Wholeheartedly. Thank you so much for that.
I wanted to piggyback off of Gavin's point as far as like even like the financial component of it. I grew up in a household with predominantly me and my two younger sisters. You know, just my mother. My father was very much involved in my life, but I lived in Connecticut. He lived in New York. The time that I grew up in was the point that my family started running out of money. Like my pops would come back on a trip or whatever, you know, come home, see me, he had like bags of toys. And, you know, the bags started getting smaller and smaller. And I understood for some reason that the money was slow. But they were entrepreneurs, and then, you know, we got, you know, regular jobs, and, you know, after businesses, like my mom even had a restaurant at one point. I had to really do a lot of digging, you know, to really understand the dynamics of what I grew up in, why certain conversations were the way that they were, why certain things was, you know, said to me. I had a sense of having, like, or a sense of abundance, in the sense I didn't have a sense of lack, while understanding that fiscal aspect of where we were in life was on the downside. In a Jamaican household where, you know, West Indians, we talk very harsh. And not even just Jamaican, right? Let's speak to the Black diaspora. And you talk about, you know, things like, you know, breaking generational curses. So I always lead back to the book, Breaking the Curse of Willie Lynch.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic read. Very difficult read if you haven't gotten to it, but it's a thin, not a lot of pages, but it's just very, there's a lot to absorb. And we speak about the mindset of the people that's generated a certain way. So I come from people who have quality, who may not be able to show the fiscal component of that quality. It propelled me to doing the work for myself, as far as like understanding myself and, you know, community and why people interact in the way that they do. So it's my 2 cents on that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You know, most of the time people don't really understand how our upbringing and our environments shape some of the decisions that we make, right? For those of us who have therapists, and I'm hoping that each and every one of you do, and I would encourage you to have one if you don't have one, so you could talk through a lot of the things that are in your mind, so you're not harboring it and keeping it in. And that's the main reason, is to have an unbiased person that can kind of talk to you through situations and scenarios where you feel like you have no other option or no support system. And so, and the other part is growing up, there were some things culturally that we just did in our families that shaped our decision making and our thinking. Coy, talk a little bit about how you grew up and how that shaped your decision making around entrepreneurship, your decision making around being a father, a single dad.
For me, it's a little different because I grew up in Jamaica and America.
Yeah.
So me growing up in Jamaica, I was barefooted, no clothes. So I had to create an opportunity out of everything. So I don't me with entrepreneurship is like, it was a mango tree. I don't have no money. I know it's not my mango tree, but I'm gonna make sure I rate that mango tree, go to the market, sell, and just do what I got to do. But here is different because, you know, it's a whole nother thing. I was hustling there. Here I had everything handed to me. So then it's like I have to find a balance of still having that hustle without relying on somebody else. It's like use your money, right? But also go to the bank and use their money as well. So don't just rely on yourself and what you have. Try to find resources out there as well. And limited resources, I was still able to make it happen. So there's always going to be resources that's around you, and you just got to go find it. So that's one thing I learned.
Yeah. I love that, right? Making something and growing out of what you feel like
no
it
matter
was
what.
nothing. Humble beginnings.
Yeah.
All you had, no clothes, no shoes, and all you had was a mango tree, and you made it work.
It work.
That's a bar and it's
mango
a sermon. Look, it's a bar and it's a sermon. I'm just saying. It monetized everything. That's a bar and a sermon. I appreciate that story and I absolutely love it. Jaiden, you know, as we talk about masculinity, oftentimes we marry that with like toxic masculinity. You hear that flying around, those buzzwords flying around social media all the time. I, on the other hand, have read about entrepreneurial masculinity and how we show up in spaces and places as entrepreneurs, asserting ourselves to make decisions for us. How do you feel like you're utilizing your entrepreneurial masculinity now? Do you feel like you're asserting yourself to just kind of barrel through and push forward? Talk a little bit about that.
When I want something, I go after it, and I learned that from like a young age, because I've been in sports since I was like young, and I've been at like little workout programs. I don't know if y'all heard of Supreme, but I feel like that was a main factor in my life, Stack, because he helped this, like he wired my mind to always think like I could keep going, like never give up. Like I always had never had that give up mindset. I always just always thought of another way I could do something if I can't like do it. So like for entrepreneur, I feel like now like all I think about is, if I want something, I'm gonna go get it, and I'm gonna find ways to how I'm gonna go get it. So like it's like no plan B, it's always option A, and we're gonna stick to that. I'm just like really dedicated, and just like when I'm set on something, I'm really going to get it. Like that's how I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's passion, perseverance, and tenacity all wrapped up in one goal, right? And that's to accomplish what you set out to accomplish. I love that. Good segue. The final question that I had. Let's have that honest conversation about our mental health. We women, right? We are always talking to friends and family members. Like we're some of us are emotional. We're audible processors, most of us. Guys don't always talk about what they have going on in their head. So I just want to have that conversation for a second to create a safe space to pay it forward to individuals who may not always feel like they can talk about what's on their mind. How important is it to balance mental health along with the work that you all are doing in entrepreneurship?
It's essential for us to be entrepreneurs. It's essential for us as humans. Something I thought about the other day, I don't know why I thought about this, but I don't know if any of y'all played Grand Theft Auto, specifically Grand Theft Auto 5, right? When they had the three characters. Frank was the black guy, Trevor and Michael, the other two white guys. The rest came from humble beginnings. Michael was the most successful one. And it was funny to me in the video game that you constantly went to a therapist. Michael, you had to constantly go to a therapist as Michael being Michael and going through, and he was the most successful, still a criminal, right? Like it's Grand Theft Auto, it's a video game. But I thought that was very profound. For males in that space, it's tough, right? You think about imposter syndrome, which I think is a very dangerous thing. When you think about imposter syndrome, feeling that you're less qualified, less able. For me personally, whenever I allow the thoughts or opinions of somebody else on myself to outweigh my own opinions or thoughts about myself, to a certain extent, that's the point where I start making incorrect decisions. That's the point where I make decisions. I'm like, nah, that's outside of my character. For an entrepreneur, it's just life, right? Like you wake up every day, you just breathe. You took a shower as an entrepreneur, you got dressed as an entrepreneur, you ate lunch, you had, you're talking to your family, dealing with your loved ones as an entrepreneur. It doesn't really stop or change. So that was something that I had to do a lot of work, and I'm still doing work, right? Still doing work to recognize you have to have a level of confidence and competence in oneself and use that in how you approach the world, right? Another Jay-Z quote, I enter every room as myself. That is something that has been leading me and serving me. And also another point of that, mental health, as an entrepreneur, I get to do a little bit of a cheat sheet where I have to create rooms, right? I have to create certain rooms for myself, high quality people who are working towards some similar goals, creating those rooms, creating those safe spaces, understanding, sometimes we have to be vulnerable to help somebody else is big. Sasha made me share a story in my pitch competition that I wasn't necessarily sharing or told many people about, working on my business where I was, again, getting people to be from renters to owners, right? In the midst of going through all this system, in the midst of having success, in the midst of doing all this stuff, living in a rent-to-own situation myself, where I got an eviction letter on my door, about to get kicked out my house. That is literally my house. And I had to overcome that situation and, just really utilizing our stories and being full and true in ourselves in every space, I think is important. So
Thank you so much for sharing that, Jim. That was a real gem, pun intended. Coy, talk to us.
I said for me, my mom is my therapist. I would say she constantly reminds me where I come from and how much I've accomplished. She keeps me humble, like to be like, yo, bro, look where you at now. Look how much sneakers you have. Look where you at. I'm proud of you no matter what. So I lost my house, because I did bad. I ain't gonna lie, that was me. That's why this class is important. Everything needs to be in writing, because I paid for a house fully, but I didn't put it in my name. Writing. You know what I'm saying? So I was homeless. But she reminded me, don't worry about that. Look where you came from. You know what I'm saying? You was able to get the first time, you get it again. And I'm fortunate because I built her one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm already blessed. Like I already did my due diligence. So no matter what happens, success is gonna come to me regardless. So you just gotta keep that mindset, like, yo, look where I came from, look where I'm at now. So it don't matter if I fall on my face right now. I already know where I've been through. I already know what I had. I went from walking to school a couple miles to driving a Benz. I already made it in me. I look at it like that. The small things, it's like I already made it. Like and I'm trying to work on hard getting here, and the whole family getting here. So it's like little things. That's why I'm like, yo, it don't matter what happens because I already made it and I already did so much and helped so much people and put so much people on. So it's just like, yo, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I did my job. I can lose this right now and I wouldn't be depressed. I wouldn't be sad. I just know I already accomplished so much that I'm just gonna keep going and keep pushing, you know what I mean? That's the mindset you gotta have. You're gonna lose it and you're gonna obtain it. So when you do lose it, just remember the time you had it.
Yeah.
And just try not to lose it again and make your mistakes, correct what you did wrong. Like you did it once, now you learn from that and you keep going. You only did it one time. The second time now, that's kind of on you.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Right.
No, I get it. I totally understand.
Keep going. It's okay. It's okay. You're gonna make mistakes. It's all right.
Got to use them as teachable moments. There are times where sometimes we got to bang our head and learn over and over and over again before it sets in, right? So give yourself permission and grace to do that, though, which is oftentimes some things that you all don't do. Gavin, talk a little bit about it.
I kind of want to bring it back to the original question, masculinity thing. I think in the society that we are in today, you are not rewarded for being masculine. Me specifically, I can only speak of. I do not have a therapist, and I think I will look into one. I heard a lot of gratitude from everybody that just spoke, and gratitude is God. That's really how I get through these times, man. Like I just think, balancing business and masculinity, I don't see how as a man you can really go through in life with your business without showing your masculinity. It's just the natural way of life. You don't want to be too over assertive or angry or anything like that. But to the gentleman that said he played sports, it's competitive. Business is competitive. Often we're competing with ourselves a lot. I think Coy was speaking about second guessing himself and making the wrong decisions. But when you start doubting yourself, man, you're definitely gonna make bad decisions. You're definitely gonna start thinking negative. And if you put God in your life and God first, I think that's the ultimate way to succeed. In all honesty, you have to show gratitude. Gratitude is like tax. You can't go around the IRS, right? So you can't go around God. Just understand that if he blesses you, you got to pay it forward. You got to show gratitude. You can't have a selfish mentality about life and how you approach business. It's really the same thing. As a man, you got to lead with God. God made you a man. Your masculinity is natural. We shouldn't necessarily try to be more masculine than somebody else, but tap into your masculinity, because I think today it's frowned upon. But the truth is, God wants you to be who he made you to be. But always put God first, man. That's my therapist.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that and sharing your strategy and your technique around managing your mental health. We appreciate that. Jaiden, how we feeling?
Honestly, I feel the same way. I don't have a therapist neither. I did, but I ended up like moving too much, so it was just like we ended up separating. But I do pray a lot now. Like I pray a lot. I make sure every morning I make a little prayer every day, talk to God, and then I also I've been going to the gym. That's what been helping me a lot too, clearing my mind. One thing that I also noticed that helped me too was protecting my peace too, was like saying no more, because I felt like I was just too nice, and I felt like I just let people like use me sometimes, because I'm just too nice. Like I always do something for people and I never get nothing in return for real. So I just always think like sometimes I just got to start protecting my peace, because like even when I don't feel like doing it, I will still do it. But then it's like I don't get nothing in return and I feel like I wasted time. But I just honestly got to protect my peace and just learn how to say no at times. But praying overall been helping me a lot, talking to God. I've been seeing him, even though I'm in this situation right now, he's still been working. I've been getting like clients for my business. So it's like everything it's not falling apart. It's just stuff is slowly happening. I know something big is coming in the future. So I just got to be patient and just grind it out.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Hang in there, stay positive. And I promise you, all things work together for the good of them who loves the Lord. Jem, you put a note in the chat for us to take a look at a book. If you want to kind of close us out with that, that'd be awesome.
Sure. Absolutely. So real quick, I just want to say I am big on therapy. I've been in therapy since elementary school, all and off. Good to have somebody or just a space or whatever. Just have a person.
I'm going to tell you real quick before you finish that. I said that to one of my brothers. You know what he said? You go for all of us. You go for all of us.
You know, it's true though, because you have to then you understand where they're coming from. But the problem is you got to figure out then how to communicate with them so they can.
And they shut up and listen. When I say I went for all of us, that means you need to shut up and listen.
Yeah, no, definitely. The Way of Disappearing Man. I learned about this a couple of years ago. I actually heard about it on an interview with Nipsey Hussle. And he recommended the book. And it's about masculinity, it's about interacting with the feminine energy as well and understanding oneself and our mindset. And it's a really powerful book that I really encourage other men to read. I have gone as far as buying copies for my friend group. After reading it, I've gone as far as giving away my last personal copy. And it's something that I think that our people can really utilize. Just really understanding and finding a space and understanding oneself. Because once we understand ourselves, we're better able to communicate with the world and have the world communicate with us.
Perfect transition to the close of this discussion and the soul work we did around grind and grace. An honest conversation around entrepreneurial masculinity and balancing and managing our mental health. Thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate your investment in Sheba, your investment in having these conscious conversations and paying it forward to other like-minded entrepreneurs and to those individuals who are thinking about getting in the race but can't get out of their own way. I appreciate you all for everything, and I look forward to continuing this work, this soul work with you. I am here for you. I appreciate you, and I love you all. Thank you so much for your investment. And Sheba, continue the good fight.
AXE2Cap, let me put you on game. AXE2Cap, look at all that you could gain. Business moves, loans, and grants, it's all a part of the game. You could learn all of this, let the Queen Sheba explain. AXE2Cap, let me put you